Hello, Commanders. Welcome to the command table. My name is Matt, and I have a very exciting announcement. I finally got my Spear of Cataclysm Tier 5. Boop, 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 boop. Awesome. So I did some rolls on it and got a really solid roll. Obviously, not maxed out on everything, but I like the 50% chance for an extra meteor. That's wicked. And I got pretty high on this. Obviously, I would have preferred 25, but I think this is the most important one. Is the more meteors you have, the more likely you have coverage all over the map, and you'll have stuff resurrecting. This one's nice too, but honestly, 50% on that one is the biggest priority. I'll probably dump a bunch of resources into maxing that out later. But for now, I'm pretty darn satisfied with what I got, and as you can see, it is doing really well for me. I am presently number 1, and I think I have over a 90%, 86%, sorry. Not 90, but 86. I have an 86% win rate running this thing, and that is just absolutely incredible. What I've got 3 different builds that I'm going to show you. This first build is a riff off of my typical farming build. I usually just run something that has quick battle turnover, so I usually run these 3 artifacts with 3 Spirit Panthers up front, 2 sets of Dire Wolves, the Paladin, the Bard, and a Drummer, and then I'll usually throw in a set of Crows and a Wind Reaver, and that just is a wrecking ball. It just charges right through everything. But what I've discovered, and that usually camps around number 100 in the rankings, so somewhere between 85 and 105. But with this way that I've tweaked it, I've ditched the Wind Reaver and what else did I lose? The Phoenix. Yeah, usually I have a Phoenix in with that as well. So I've ditched the Wind Reaver and the Phoenix, and I've added 3 more sets of Crows and 2 more sets of Archers. Now the reason for that, as you will see in these battles, is that you've got stuff way the heck in the back here, and the Crows will dive in headlong and just go and attack that right away. And usually these Mind Corruptor builds, if you can stall that Mind Corruptor out just long enough, the rest of your army will just zip right in there, and then they're toast. The Ring 5 is what's making some of the biggest difference here, because it will cleanse the units. Ooh, it's not looking so hot for me. There we go. The Ring 5 will cleanse the units every time their faction hits the cycle. So you can see there, it was looking pretty ugly, but I had enough coverage over the entire map with skulls that my stuff was popping up long enough to let my army reset. Again, the archers in the back, what that does is that spreads your skulls out all over the field. If your units are dying here, 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 and here, there's more chance that that spear is going to lock onto a skull and poof, you're off and running. So let's run this build maybe 4 or 5 more times, and then we'll show you some of the other builds that I've been toying around with. I've got bleed on pretty much all the Spirit Panthers and the Crows. I don't have it on the Archers, because what I've been doing with the Archers is Stone Skin, Reload, and Leech. And that keeps the Archers up, because they can take 2 hits and still be alive. That 3rd hit will usually kill them, but with the Reload and the Leech, they're able to top themselves off. Okay, so now here it's looking a little ugly, but I think we're still going to pull it out. That Mechanical Horror is really amped up by both the Toe and Ring 5. Since the Mechanical Horror... Oh, I actually died. Wow, look at that. Oh no, I'm number 2. Okay, so the Mechanical Horror, you get all factions cycling through. So every 5 seconds they get, I think, about 2 seconds of immunity, something like that. So yeah, it's a very powerful unit in the top ranks right now. Here I've got some Draining Spirits that might cause me some problems, but I might be okay on this one. We'll see how I do. Yeah, so the features of this build, I like having the Archers in the back and the Crows that penetrate into the enemy line to spread skulls all over the field. As you can see, I've got 2-3 units popping up almost every time the spear hits. See, here we go again. Yeah, the Draining Spirits kind of gravitate to everything, and everything kind of gets sucked into the Draining Spirits, which is why these builds cause me a lot of trouble. But the spear so far has had a more than 50% win rate in these situations. There we go. But yeah, it does get pretty ugly. But the skulls are all over the place because things are running everywhere, so it's not bad. Okay, so let's run this just a couple more times, and then I'll show you a couple of the other setups that I was toying around with. This one I think is the most successful setup that I've used so far, and it's the one that just sailed all the way to number 1 and kept me there for quite a while. Okay, so these Endless March armies cause me a fair bit of trouble, but I've got a lot of AoE damage and a lot of bleed up here that's being applied in a cone damage with the Spirit Panthers. So with RD armies, you can have a lot of trouble with this because they only hit one target per unit. But with the Spirit Panthers, they're applying bleed to everything they hit. So it's able to stack up on those Endless March a lot faster. That and the Crows are able to stun the Valkyrie because I got a ton of them. So, okay, Admiral Hunter usually gets me pretty good. He's got a lot of Draining Spirits, and I think he's got bleed on him. So this army does cause me a fair bit of trouble, but I think I've maybe beat him a quarter of the time, so we'll see how we do. Oh, that's not good. That's one of my workers. That's supposed to go open the garage door for him, but he's not coming in today. Anyway, let's see, what else can I mention? One of the builds I want to show you would do a lot better with Skull 5, but I only have Skull 4 right now. Been waiting to get it naturally from raids rather than buying it from the store because I've already spent a ton of gems on the 40 shards for tier 5 spear. I bought that a few days ago. I wasn't going to wait until I knew I had it. I was going to go ahead and get it in advance because I knew that once I was within range to get it by a purchase, I would probably not see it in the shop for a while. Okay, so let's do one more battle. We'll just clear through this real fast. Okay, no thank you. Okay, one more battle and then I'll switch it up. Okay, here, this is where the Crows come in handy because hopefully we get that Mind Corruptor stalled out long enough to get the rest of my group to zip through, and there we go. I only hit the Mind Corruptor once so far. That's incredible. With all those Crows and only one hit. There we go. Okay, that should spell doom here before too long. No? Okay. Maybe this one's heading south. Oh, man. Oh, there I go. All right, well, doesn't work every time. So we can call this the... Oh, never mind. We won't say that. Okay. So let me show you some of the other stuff I was toying around with. I figured Spear 5 might as well throw in Sword 5 and see how that goes. I know that the Fire Knights are Chaos units, so the Crown of the Lightbringer isn't going to help them a whole heck of a lot. But the purpose for using the Crown of the Lightbringer is to keep those RDs topped off and to hold the army alive for as long as possible, allowing the spear more time to strike the ground to keep the Fire Knights coming back and over and over and over again. So the RDs will be able to kind of keep pushing forward because they get cleansed. And the spear, anytime it hits, it's basically a death sentence. The only time that's not true is if you get a hit on something that's already resistant to fire, and it won't kill them with one shot, but you can usually get them with two. But this one was a lot of fun just because it shreds through things so quickly. Just look at that health drop. Poof, poof, poof. And then we're down to the Monster Hunter. Now this could get interesting. Yeah, let's see how we do, because he keeps knocking everybody back, and my Ember Fiends aren't doing anything to him. Oh, there we go. Once that stun hits, he's toast. All right, so let's take a look at this one real fast. I've got an Ember Fiend on the bottom, Ember Fiend on the top. They have double reload and bleed 2. And then I mostly have protection or cover ×2. And I usually, with units, frontline units like that, I'll usually double up the same thing, because depending on what army you're up against, you don't want to mix it, because then you're only half resistant to either ranged or melee. I like to put either double melee or double ranged on each unit, but I mix it up to where, you know, this guy's got double protection, this guy's got double cover. And that way I have exceptionally resilient units, And yeah, half of my RDs could die if I'm up against a ranged army, but my other half are going to keep on trucking for the rest of the battle because they've got superb resistance to that. So you kind of need some of your RDs to die anyway to keep you going. So that's why I do that. All right, let's see how we do here. These kind of Titan-esque armies, they're a little different than your usual Titan where you had the Paladin back in the day kind of pushing your little Titan bubble through. These ones kind of spread everything out all over the map, and some very tanky units up front, and then you got some really powerful ranged units in the back. And again, the mechanical horror with Toe and Ring 5, it just becomes an absolute beast at the end. You just can rarely ever take it down. Oh, there we go, going down. So you can see why having units spread out all over the field with skulls to keep resurrecting is pretty handy for that. All right, let's see how we do here. This is why the RDs are up front, because they will soak those first few mind shrooms, and then they'll get cleansed, and then everything will kind of push forward, knocking them further into the mind shrooms. They'll get cleansed again, and then it's just a matter of time before we push all the way through. And the spear just keeps bringing everybody back. Fire Knights are doing all the damage along with those Ember Fiends. And the RDs are just keeping everything moving, cleansing all the different ailments that we come across here. And we should be able to push in here in the next 5 to 10 seconds and clean everything up. There we go. That spear just hits like a truck when you've got 20% of your base health in damage. Just absolutely savage. Okay, we got another Titan-esque build. Lots of... I guess we call these Toe builds now. They're not really Titan builds. I guess Titan was a very specific thing where you had all of your units in a clump and they just kind of rolled through like a wrecking ball. But yeah, the bleed on the RDs should be stacking up. We're going to zoom in here on that mechanical horror. Yeah, see, I stacked up a bunch of bleed, so even if he's invulnerable for a brief period of time, when he becomes vulnerable again, that bleed will hit very hard. I don't know if the stacks accumulate while it's invulnerable, but yeah, it's as long as he's getting stacks some part of the time, we'll take it. Yeah, this is a very popular build. If you've got Toe 5 and Ring 5, you're pretty much ready to rock and roll for top 30 with this kind of a build. All right, so we'll call it quits on this build after this battle, and I'll show you my order spam setup after this. And the order spam one that I'm about to show you is the first build that I kind of actually did something to cater to the Spear 5, and learned quite a few good lessons from it along the way, so I'll share those with you once we get there. Oh, down I go. All right, so this build was fun. I like using the sword with it. I just really like it when the spear hits something and it's basically a death sentence. But as you can see, it does not perform as well as this build. And then we'll go ahead and show you this one. So this one, I basically just threw a bunch of order units into a blender, plunked them down on the field, and let it run. Again, same deal. I just put a bunch of protection stones and dash or bleed on all the melee units that gravitate towards the front. And then I put a bunch of stone skin, reload, or blast on the storm guards, and leech on all the ranged units. So like you see, the archers got hit by the spire chaining through to the back there. They'll heal themselves up with a couple of shots and they're still in the battle. But look at that. That is a force to be reckoned with right there. Everything just keeps on sailing right through. Now this one we're just going to mow right through because everything's going to get cleansed. Everything is order, so the Crown of the Lightbringer is just going to clean everything up. I've got Bulwark as well. What I might actually do is drop the Bulwark and maybe put in something like Standard of the Ancient Defender I might roll with that for a while and see how that does, because that would increase the range on my ranged units and maybe even kind of spread everything out a little bit more. Because right now all the hammer throwers and storm guards, they're all clumped up with these guys, but if you had the standard, that would spread the army out much more, and you'd see a lot more skulls spread out over the battlefield, which keeps you alive longer and keeps you applying bleed, gets you to frenzy where your ranged units are just gonna nuke the crap out of everything. All right. Oh, nice spear strike in the back there. Boom. Yeah, and the nice thing about the Storm Dragon is he'll actually spread out your skulls. Oh, he's dead. Never mind. I was going to say, watches the Storm Dragon when he shoots. He kind of pushes all those skulls and spreads them nicely all over the place, which kind of makes it to where your units kind of resurrect all over, and you don't have your catapult hitting all of your units at the same time. Your enemy's catapult hitting you. But yeah, you got to have at least some archers in there so that the trees don't get you, because the ancient trees were causing me a lot of problems earlier. I kind of went with almost all RD army with Storm Dragon and a Storm Caller, and that's what usually works well around rank 100, but it didn't work so hot here, and I thought, well, gee, why am I putting 2 mythic units on the field when I could be amplifying the number of skulls that I have spread all over the place. Other things to note. Yeah, so I ditched the mythic units for this just because I prefer to have more skulls all over the place. Look at all those. So better chance to keep units popping up. Oh, and you'll notice I've only got 21% health when they resurrect for the roll that I got. But having the Crown of the Lightbringer, when they pop up, watch this guy here. Oh, never mind, he's dead. Watch somebody with low health, and as soon as the Crown of the Lightbringer ticks, all their health just poof, there we go. Tons of health. So fantastic build for longevity, just keeps you pushing through the entire time. So yeah, totally fun. I'm just thrilled to have Spear 5. This is just fantastic. When week 2 rolls around, I'm hoping for an easy number 1. Be able to help out some other people get their title. That should be fun too. So yeah, oh, that's a good point while we're here. If you guys want to join TCT Discord, I'm going to put the link in the description. Hop on in. We've always got lots of great stuff there. Anytime something's happening, whether it's a community stream or a raid, we've got tons of solutions for those. And we also help high-end players get their achievements. So feel free to hop on in, and we will be glad to assist you. And all are welcome, even those with sticks in their butts. So for those of you who have animosity from previous times, let it go and come have fun with us. We would love to have everybody get over things and come play. So that would be fantastic. Come join the party. Everyone's welcome. Okay, so we'll probably call it after this battle. And go ahead and upload this, let everybody enjoy it. If you guys want me to try something out, feel free to send me a comment on the YouTube or in Discord. You can find me on Discord. Maybe send me a screenshot or something and say, hey, try this out, see how it does. And I can kind of give you guys a idea of what might work and what might not. Okay, thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys liking the videos and supporting the channel, so please subscribe, do all that jazz. And we'll have more content for you in the near future. All the best. Spear 5. Spear 5. It's amazing.